Before we crack open tonight's cursed can of content, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, and an extra Sinister shout out to the loyal members of the Sinister Elite. You legends help keep the darkness alive. If you're enjoying the stories and want to take it a step further, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and consider joining the Sinister Elite by clicking that join button below. Members get access to creepy custom emojis and exclusive Sinister Elite badges that level up the longer you survive with us. It's like loyalty, but spookier. All right, lights off, headphones in, and let's summon something we'll all regret. I'm not proud of how I ended up here, but hey, neither is anyone who works night shift at Chuck E. Cheese wearing a sweaty mascot head that smells like moldy breadsticks and shame. Name's Kenny Turner. People back in high school called me K-Dog. Nowadays, they just call me, "Hey man, you dropped your tail." I'm 31 years old and paying off my DUI by moonlighting as a 6-foot-tall mutant rat who sings birthday songs to invisible kids. You'd think that's punishment enough. You'd be wrong. I showed up for orientation thinking I'd be sweeping floors and avoiding eye contact with animatronics. But the manager, Dale, a guy who looked like a melted bowling pin with a nicotine patch, slid a dusty duffel bag across the table and said, "Suit's in there. You're the new Chuck E. Cheese. Night shift starts at midnight sharp. You'll be alone, so follow the rules." I laughed, assuming he meant don't take selfies in the suit or hump the animatronics. But then he handed me a wrinkled sheet of paper with actual typed-out instructions, like something from a Creepypasta subreddit written by someone who dropped acid and watched Five Nights at Freddy's during a thunderstorm. The rules were as follows. Rules for night mascot shift. Do not discard this sheet. Keep it in your left glove. If the stage lights turn on at 1:11 a.m., do not approach the stage. Let them perform, even if it's silent. If you hear singing from the kitchen, lock the oven. Do not sing along, no matter how catchy the tune. If another Chuck E. Cheese mascot enters the building, you are the imposter. Remove your suit and hide in the prize vault. At exactly 2:33 a.m., the ball pit will bubble. Drop one token in. Only one. No more. No less. Before clocking out, look in the mirror by the break room. If your reflection waves, call Dale. He'll know what to do. I stared at him for a good 10 seconds, expecting a gotcha or at least a kidding, bro. Nothing. Just a pat on the back and, "Good luck, K-Dog." I almost bailed. But then I remembered I owed the state $2,300, and my lawyer's exact words were, "You're lucky the judge didn't throw you in a cage, Kenny." So I suited up. The Chuck E. Cheese costume had the consistency of a gym towel left in a hot car. I could taste the regret of every man who'd worn it before me. There was something sticky in one of the ears. I didn't ask. Probably pizza sauce. Hopefully pizza sauce. Midnight hit, and the lights dimmed on their own. I swear to God, it felt like the place exhaled. The arcade games flickered once, then stayed dead. The giant animatronic band on stage, Chuck E., Helen Henny, Mr. Munch, that weird dog Jasper, sat frozen in their ready-to-kill pose. I walked around doing my best Chuck E. impression to no one. "Hiya kids, let's have some fun." Except my voice cracked and I sounded like Mickey Mouse having a panic attack. Then, at 1:11 a.m. sharp, every stage light flared on. I froze in place. They weren't joking, the animatronics didn't move. No music, no sounds, just light. And one of the animatronics, Mr. Munch I think, had its head turned slightly toward me, like it moved just a smidge when I blinked. I didn't go near the stage. I turned around, walked straight into the ticket booth, and sat there sweating buckets in the rat suit. That's when I heard it. Singing. From the kitchen. Software childlike. Off-key. 1 for you, and 2 for me. Bake their hearts at 350. I nearly pissed myself. I scrambled to the kitchen and saw the oven door slightly open. The damn thing clicked as the temperature started climbing. On its own. I slammed it shut and flipped the little lock tab. The singing stopped. Instantly. Like it had been waiting for me. The oven squealed. I stood there, breathing hard, until I noticed something new. Another Chuck E. Cheese mascot suit was now visible in the reflection of the fridge, but I was still in the suit, and the reflection was waving. The fridge was stainless steel, clean, polished, and reflective like a damn funhouse mirror, except this wasn't fun, and it sure as hell wasn't my reflection. The other Chucky stood behind me in the reflection, perfectly still, waving with slow, robotic fingers. The movement was off, like it didn't quite understand what waving meant, but wanted to seem friendly. I spun around. Nothing. Just sauce-stained tiles, an open bag of shredded mozzarella, and the humming soda fountain machine still whimpering like it had trauma. I looked back at the fridge, still waving. I swear to you. I felt my heart slam against the inside of the suit like it was trying to bail on this job before I could. Rule number 3 screamed inside my sweaty rat head. If another Chuck E. Cheese mascot enters the building, you are the imposter. Remove your suit and hide in the prize vault. I ripped the Velcro on my glove so fast I almost peeled my skin off. Got the head off. Kicked off the rat feet. And I ran barefoot in a soaked t-shirt and mesh shorts, smelling like garlic butter and failure, straight to the back hallway. The prize vault is just a room filled with cheap crap kids trade their tickets for. Slime tubes, off-brand Hot Wheels, and plastic rings that break if you look at them too hard. But the door locks from the inside, and that's all I needed. I slammed the door shut and pressed my back against it, panting. Silence. Then, click, clack, click. That damn rat suit was walking, but not stomping, not heavy, just soft, deliberate, like it had bones. I scanned the room for a weapon. Nothing but bouncy balls and a Nerf gun missing its darts. So I did what any logical man would do in my position. I grabbed a bucket of plastic vampire teeth and a slinky and mentally prepared to fight a sentient mascot suit for my life. The footsteps stopped, right outside the door. Then, knock, knock, knock. 3 soft taps, followed by a voice. My voice. Hey there, kiddos. It's me, Chuck E. I damn near pooped my pants. It was my voice, but not a recording. It said it all wrong, like someone trying to impersonate me after getting kicked in the throat. And then it added, open up. Let's play a game. I didn't move. I waited in the dark, surrounded by fake mustaches and expired pixie sticks, until the voice eventually stopped. The footsteps faded. I stayed locked in there for 30 more minutes. When I finally peeked out, the hallway was empty. My suit was gone. 2:33 a.m. I checked my watch. Rule number 4. At exactly 2:33 a.m., the ball pit will bubble. Drop 1 token in. Only 1. No more. No less. I grabbed a token from my pocket. Thank God I had one. I'd picked it up earlier because I thought it looked cool. It had Chuck E. on one side and a pentagram-looking wheel of pizza slices on the other. I ran to the play area and stood in front of the ball pit. It was bubbling. No joke. The plastic balls swirled like water in a hot tub, slowly at first, then more violently. They sloshed around and made this gurgling sound like someone choking on cheese. I stepped closer, held the token over it, and dropped it. The moment it vanished below the surface, the bubbling stopped. Dead silent. Then a single red ball rose to the top. It had a bite taken out of it. Nope. Nuh-uh. I walked backwards like I was defusing a bomb and didn't turn around until I was back at the front counter. I didn't even care that I was barefoot and still smelled like rat farts. I sat down behind the register and waited for my shift to end. Right before 4 a.m., I remembered the last rule. Before clocking out, look in the mirror by the break room. If your reflection waves, call Dale. He'll know what to do. I walked back, slow. My reflection didn't wave this time. It looked tired, but normal. Just as I was about to leave, my phone buzzed. Unknown number? Good job. Night 2 starts tomorrow. Bring more tokens. I didn't respond. Because right as I stepped outside, there in the employee parking lot, sitting on top of my 2009 Ford Focus, was Chuck E. Cheese. Not the suit. The rat. Grinning. Waiting. I froze in the doorway like someone slapped my soul in the face. Chuck E's, the real one, or whatever the hell it was just sitting there on the roof of my Ford Focus like a cursed hood ornament. Legs crossed, tail curled around the antenna. That stupid foam grin stretched a little too wide, like it had teeth under it. I backed into the building and locked the door. Nope, not tonight. I'll sleep in the crawl space if I have to. Problem was, I had to come back. Part of the DUI agreement. If I quit without finishing the 60 days of court-approved employment, I'd be back in county before you could say extra cheese. So the next night, I showed up. Brought extra tokens like the text said. Also brought a flask. Sue me. Dale wasn't there. He never is. Dude runs the place like it's a haunted timeshare. Just drops rules and vanishes. There's a picture of him on the wall from like 1994, holding a pizza and giving a thumbs up, but the photo's slightly singed around the edges and the eyes look photoshopped in. Midnight rolled around. Suit was laid out again, clean this time. Still smelled like foot and regret. I put it on, told myself out loud, "We're not dying tonight, K-Dog," and stepped out onto the floor. 12:55 a.m. arcade lights flickered once, then dimmed. 1:11 a.m. Stage lights blasted on like a concert. I hid behind the skee-ball machine and peeked. The animatronics were moving, not like they used to, jerky and robotic. These movements were fluid. Their heads bobbed like they were jamming to a beat only they could hear. Then Helen Henny turned her head all the way around. Owl style. Looked right at me. I nearly screamed, but I stayed hidden. They finished their little ghost concert and went still again. Just powered down, like nothing happened. I crawled to the kitchen. That's when I heard something behind me. Not footsteps, not wheels, scraping, like claws on linoleum. I turned and saw a trail of red sauce leading into the freezer. It wasn't there a second ago. The freezer door was slightly open. Inside it was pitch black. Then it creaked wider. A hand reached out. It wasn't a glove. It was fur-covered. Sharp fingers. Wet. I slammed it shut and pulled the bolt. I didn't even check the rules for that one. That's just common sense. 2:33 a.m. ball pit time. I made my way over, gripping the tokens like they were rosary beads. It was bubbling already. Hot, sour-smelling, and sloshing like it had indigestion. I dropped in a token. 1. It gurgled, calmed, and spit out a plastic ring with a tiny emerald-looking gem on it. I didn't touch it, not falling for the haunted ring prize trap. Instead, I noticed something taped to the tunnel slide above the pit. A piece of notebook paper, handwritten. I climbed up and snatched it. It read, "The rules change on Fridays. Don't trust the ball pit. Don't trust mirrors. Don't trust yourself." I looked at the calendar taped behind the front counter. Friday. My stomach dropped harder than the time I hit a pothole doing 85 in a 97 Civic. I went to the bathroom mirror just to check. There were 3 reflections. One of them was brushing its hair, another was sharpening a pizza cutter. Only one looked scared, and I knew that one was me. I called Dale. Voicemail. "Hey Dale," I said, sweating. "Just checking in. There are clones of me in the mirror and one of them has a weapon. The freezer's haunted, the ball pit's lying, and I think your rat mascot is trying to possess me. Call me back, thanks." I hung up. The mirror cracked behind me. I didn't even wait until 4 a.m. I clocked out early, sprinted to my car, checked the roof, no rat, and peeled out of the parking lot like it owed me money. But my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. No early clockouts. The prize vault has been notified. I looked in my rear view. The prize vault door was open, and someone was walking out in a pizza apron. They were wearing my face. I didn't go home that night. I drove to a 24-hour car wash, parked in the bay, and slept with a wiffle ball bat in my lap and one eye open. I kept the lights on and the engine running. I figured if the clone version of me showed up, I'd either mow him down or blind him with my high beams and throw soda at him. Real professional survival plan. Morning came. No Chucky texts, no weird dreams, no clone. I convinced myself it was all in my head. Maybe the rat suit was soaked in some kind of leftover kid funk and I was tripping. I'd Googled it. Some of those old costumes have black mold or rat urine in them. Not the fun kind of rat, the real kind. But deep down, I knew better. Friday night was behind me. Saturday shift should be back to normal. Right. When I showed up for work, there was a new note taped to the inside of my locker. Same typewriter font. Same eerie vibe. Emergency protocol. If you survive Friday, continue following standard rules. However, if you were seen in the mirror or touched by the freezer entity, you must complete a cleansing sequence. Enter the ticket blaster tube. Close your eyes. Insert exactly 7 tickets into the chute. Do not look at what blows out. If it speaks, answer, "I'm not hungry, thanks." Remain inside until silence returns. I laughed, out loud. Then I realized nobody had ever been in the ticket blaster alone at night. I figured it was just for kids to feel like they were winning the lottery in a wind tunnel of disappointment. But that night, around 1:30 a.m., after the animatronics finished their midnight seance performance and the kitchen stayed mercifully quiet, I got curious. I crawled into the ticket blaster. Tiny, cramped, smelled like spit and old Parmesan. I shut the door, took 7 tickets from the counter jar and fed them into the chute. Nothing happened. Then, the lights inside turned red, and something coughed. A burst of wind hit me in the face. Not air, breath. And then it whispered, "You're not real. You're the prize." My eyes stayed shut. My jaw clenched so hard I heard my molars scream. Then, right next to my ear, it asked, "Hungry?" I choked out the line. "I'm not hungry, thanks." The wind stopped. Silence returned. The door popped open on its own. I crawled out, heart hammering, face drenched in sweat. But I was fine. I thought I'd made it. Until I looked at my hands. They were covered in red tickets. Each one said, "Redeem for 1 piece of yourself." I tried to call Dale again. Nothing. So I did something stupid. I went into his office. It was dark, dusty. Desk had 2 drawers, both locked. But on the wall was that same old picture, Dale holding a pizza. Except now the photo was different. Chuck E. was in the background, grinning, and behind the photo was a metal hatch. You heard me. A hatch. I pried it open and found a ladder leading down. Concrete tunnel. Pizza sauce smeared on the rungs like someone fell while bleeding marinara. I climbed. Not because I'm brave, but because I wanted answers. And also because something knocked on the break room door while I was deciding. I made it to the bottom. There was a room. Stone walls. Smelled like fryer oil and burnt fur. In the center? A throne. Made of melted animatronic parts. Sitting on it? Chuck E. Cheese, but taller. Older. Bone poking through fur. Eyes sunken in like 2 pennies on raw pizza dough. And next to him? Dale, grinning, wearing a crown made of prize tokens. "Welcome back, K-Dog," he said. "You're doing great. 1 more night, and you'll be part of the family." Chuck E. opened his mouth, hundreds of tiny white teeth inside. He whispered, "Saturday is rehearsal. Sunday is the show." Chuck E.'s mouth didn't move like a mascot's. It moved like a mouth, wet, twitchy, full of too many teeth and not enough muscle. His voice slithered out again, soft as shredded mozzarella. "Sunday is the show." I took a step back, bumping into a shelf stacked with broken animatronic parts. Limp plastic paws, pizza slice guitars, cracked eyes staring in all directions. Dale just stood there with that dumb token crown on, nodding like he was a proud manager at a cult convention. I said the only thing that came to mind. "I quit." Dale chuckled. "There's no quitting, Kenny. You wore the suit. You fed the pit. You survived Friday. You're the closing act." I turned to run. Chuck E. stood up. This thing wasn't some guy in a costume. It was tall, skinny, but stretched, like something had put on a rat suit and just kept growing inside it. As I sprinted for the ladder, it said something I'll never forget. Bring the children. Nope. All the nope. I climbed faster than I ever have in my life, busted out of the hatch, slammed Dale's office door shut, and barricaded it with the claw machine full of knockoff SpongeBob dolls. I was done. Over it. I left everything, uniform, wallet, dignity, and ran barefoot into the night. I didn't go home. I went straight to the police, sat down at the front desk of the precinct at 3:42 a.m., still dripping in sweat and stinking like moldy pizza. I told them everything. Every rat-filled animatronic dancing, ticket-spewing detail. They stared, then laughed, then handed me a cup of water and a breathalyzer. I passed. Barely. Eventually, they agreed to send someone to check it out. Officer Diaz. Nice guy. Thought it was a prank call until he saw the security cam footage. I saw his face change in real time as he watched the tape. There I was, running through the dining area. Behind me, Chuck E. Not animatronic. Not in a suit. Something else. Diaz called for backup. By the time they returned, the hatch was gone. Dale's photo was back to normal. No Chuck E. on the roof. No whispering oven. Ball pit was calm. Even the rat suit had vanished like it never existed. They found one thing, though. Taped to the prize vault door. A single red ticket. It said, "Redeemed. One human soul. Showtime. Every Sunday at midnight." I moved. Changed my number. Deleted my Facebook. Even blocked Domino's just to be safe. But every now and then, I get a text. No number. Just a message. "The show's starting, K-Dog. You've still got one ticket left." Sometimes I hear singing in my dreams. One for you and two for me. Bake their hearts at 350. And sometimes, I wake up with red tickets in my hand.